Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Super 80s Podcast Friend. We are a TV theme song explorer with one mission, and that is to analyze every single 1980s TV theme song. All genres, comedies, dramas, we don't care. We love them all.
Some of them.
Some of them. And if you love us, or even some of us, if you could like and subscribe, and you know what? I'm going to add a request. Could you leave a review for us on Apple Podcasts if you listen on there? Because that also helps the algorithms, I've been told.
And we just like feedback.
We do like feedback. Positive, negative, mostly positive. We'd appreciate. But
We'd like that more.
You can even ask us questions in the reviews, and we'll ask them on air, probably. Speaking of reaching out to us, you can ask us questions on Facebook Messenger, Instagram, Facebook page,
Threads.
And you can email us at super80spodcastfriend@gmail.com. By the way, I'm John.
I'm Ryan.
And I am Peter.
We're happy to be here. We'd like to start with a brewski. Ryan, what's in your glass?
I don't know. Central Waters. It's a stout. I don't know what the name of it is.
It sounds like a lyric in a Kiss song by like a Paul Stanley song. Satin Solitude.
It does sound like a Paul Stanley.
Or like a late night Cinemax movie from 1990.
But they're all the same.
They're all the same.
It's delicious.
Pete?
I've got Two Hearted from Bells.
Is this Bell's first time on the air?
It's their fifth time on the air.
Yeah.
And I am drinking the Three Sheeps Water Slides.
Nice.
One of my favorite IPAs. All right. Well, welcome to episode 45. Any retractions, observations, comments from listeners, or previous shows watched?
Man.
Has it been like a year since we recorded?
It feels like it's been a while. What did we do? Have we recorded since we went and saw John Anderson from Yes?
I don't think so.
No.
That was a great show.
Yeah, it was.
We had another field trip.
Yeah.
Yep.
All these field trips at the end of the school year here.
We'll invite you listeners at some point to join us at these concerts. It has been a little bit. Sometimes we'll let you look behind the curtain a little bit. Sometimes we record two at a time. So we get a little ahead of ourselves, so then we take a few weeks off.
Yeah.
So to keep you guys and listeners up to date here, episode 44 was The Adventures of the Gummy Bears.
Oh, yeah.
Episode 43 was Silver Spoons.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
So that we going back 2 is usually plenty. I don't remember what was before that.
Alien Nation.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's right.
Can't forget that.
So I have been doing some thinking.
I was hoping you're going to say watching, but thinking's okay.
I've been doing some thinking. After Gummy Bears, I've reconsidered DuckTales, and I think I'm changing my vote.
For the Super Mega All-Time Hall of Fame?
You're going, okay. Wow.
Yes. So I think that's considered a retraction.
Well, let's give it the old retraction time.
So I think I've got to retract it. And here's what I do think DuckTales is an all-timer. And this is what did it for me.
All
when
right.
I was thinking about the Gummy Bears, I was considering how initially very disappointed I was in the Gummy Bears song. And then it eventually picked up and I liked it, but I thought to myself, DuckTales, that's a banger all the way through. There was never any
There's nothing to pick up.
There's nothing to pick up.
It
It
was
was
there.
just straight good. And I thought, you know what? I think I'm being a little too harsh on
Okay.
on
Almost
DuckTales.
like Facts of Life good.
Facts of Life is damn good.
But that's not a banger.
It's not. It's not. How far do you think you're going to push me here today?
You're right. Well, hey,
Take what we
welcome
can
to the Anonymous Statistician. You can add a new one to the all-time Super Mega Happy Pal friendship list.
You can put it on the board.
Is that like 2 songs on that list now?
Well, it's got to be the Elites, so.
Yes. Well, that's a great one. Well, welcome to the super list, DuckTales. It's a great song.
That might be my first retraction. Probably my only.
Anonymous statistician will let us know. The details he has are unbelievable. All right. Anything else from you two?
No, I did not watch any shows.
I also did some watching.
Whoa!
Oh,
Ryan.
Let me just think about what the hell I watched.
I mean, hopefully Silver Spoons or Gummy Bears.
I did watch Silver Spoons.
Uh-oh.
So Silver Spoons, it was an episode from season 1.
Okay.
Kind of just randomly picked out. But I had, when I just, just looking at the titles, I had to stop at this one. It was entitled Me and Mr. T.
Oh,
so,
yes, you did.
Yeah, so Mr. T's in the episode. Here's the premise. Ricky's going to public school. He's living with his dad, going to public school, and he gives, like, basically there's a bully trying to take literally they're talking about milk money, who comes around and, like, tries to get milk money, and he refuses, and he gets beat up, and his dad is like, we can't have you going to this public school. We're going to, send you to the private school. And Ricky's like, no, you can't do that. It's going to be embarrassing. So instead he hires a bodyguard.
Stop. There it is.
Mr. T.
Mr.
Very nice.
T.
Yeah.
I was in his fan club,
Yes.
Exactly. So it's just like some crazy stuff.
Full gold chains and overalls?
Yeah, like it was the Mr. T.
Was he playing himself or just a large guy with a bunch of gold chains?
No, he's
and a
playing
mohawk?
Mr. T.
Okay, like
so
Mr. T the wrestler.
It was
or Mr.
It was
T.
pretty clear to me that, like, the A-Team must have already sprung, and
Gotcha.
like he was
So he had he had notoriety.
making a crossover, right, from like
Love it.
one NBC show to another or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the funny part is that so then he says, I hired this bodyguard. They go into the class, right? And Mr. T just, like, bursts into the classroom. So here's the other funny part. The bully's name is Ox.
Love it.
He's not it's
a
really
great
just
bully
goofy.
name.
Yeah. He's got a personal bodyguard. He sits right behind Ricky
in the classroom.
in the classroom.
In a desk?
In a desk. Yeah, in a desk. Like, there's some just, like, classic 80s jokes here. So, like, one of them, so he sits in the desk. Everybody's like, what the heck's going on? The teacher has no idea what's going on. Asks some question about, like, when nobody knows the answer about the Declaration of Independence. Nobody raised their hand. Mr. T raises his hand and gives the answer.
Great 80s comedy right there. You got the bodyguard participating.
Right. And so he raises his hand. The teacher, it's the first time she notices Mr. T, and she's like...
Kind of just blends in with a bunch of third graders.
Exactly. And she's like, who are you? And he's like, first name Mr., middle name period, last name T.
Love it. That's great.
And I just kind of, like, took some notes, like there's some really cheap ass lines in this show, by the way. Cheap ass lines. So at the end, classic sitcom, everything works out in the end, and the dad says to Ricky, I say this line, I'm new at this dad thing. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. I sure hope you have a lot of patience with me. It's just so bad. It's so bad. In the end, Ricky takes on Ox. Ox comes, tries to take him on, and the whole class backs Ricky. He doesn't need the bodyguard anymore because the whole class backs him up. So, interesting show.
Silver Spoons. Well, I watched an episode of Silver Spoons as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's see. I got a couple notes here myself. Season 1 as well. Episode 14. Episode starts with the dad entering the living room on the train.
Oh, nice.
And the studio audience just goes crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they go batshit. You would have thought Mr. T was walking in the
So
room.
we were talking about that, how we couldn't see it, like, on the intro necessarily, but it's...
And it's a nice long track. It's a
Right.
good ride. And that living room looks so awesome.
Yeah.
I got to admit, Mr. whatever his name is, Mr. Dad,
Yeah.
he's got it decked out really nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I wrote it has some Full House super cheesy vibes.
Yeah.
Is that you were kind
Exactly.
of feeling that, right? Really bad jokes. So the premise in this episode, I've just picked it because it was the first one that came up on YouTube. It's so bad. Rick and his dad are hosting a Badger Ball, which is their version of the Boy Scouts, the Badgers. So they're going to have a big party, and it's going to be a dance, and every Badger invites a girl.
Okay.
Because they're 12, sixth grade, I
Sure.
guess, whatever. So before the ball, Ricky and his buddies are out hiking in a cave.
Of course.
And one of the guys, JT, who's hilarious, declares that he's made a love potion for the party.
Nice.
They're like, love potion, what's in it? And he's like, ginger ale, orange juice, Dr. Pepper, and vitamin E tablets.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the crowd laughs. I don't know what that meant in 1984. So the boys all have dates, and they're talking about him. And Bateman says about one of the guys. So Jason Bateman's in there, and he says about one of the guys' dates. She's a bow wow from the neck up, but okay from the neck down.
Wow.
Like, right?
Wowza.
Then JT, who isn't Bateman, he think of two guys. JT bets Bateman $5. He doesn't have a date, and he's just making the girl up. JT's a freaking hoot. And then JT says, they're in sixth grade. He says, I'm bringing a ninth grader because I need a woman. And I mean, this episode's ridiculous. So they're in the cave. Everybody leaves but Bateman and Ricky. The cave has a massive collapse.
Of course.
And it's like in White Christmas, Bateman saves Ricky.
Okay.
And then Bateman's like, I kind of saved your life. You owe me one. He's like, oh, you what? He's like, I actually don't have a date. I need your date.
Oh. Dun, dun, dun.
So that part doesn't work out. So Bateman comes up with a plan. He's like, Rick, I'm going to have you dress up as a girl.
Oh, boy.
It's so dumb. They stuff a bra and everything.
Oh, my God.
Rick looks like, in E.T. when he dresses up as a girl. He looks like that.
Okay.
And Bateman says, Rick, if you're serious about being a girl, you got to walk like you're swatting flies with your rear end.
What the hell?
Yes.
Was Ricky a bow wow from the neck up?
Yeah, he was. Anyway, JT starts putting the moves on Rick. It's just ridiculous. So anyway, in the end, Rick's dad pretends he doesn't notice it's Rick, but then he does, and he's like, Rick, you got to stand up for yourself, blah, blah, blah. That's pretty bad, man.
A lot of good life lessons were being taught on Silver Spoon.
So Silver Spoon's not a rewatch. It's not making your list of things you're going to...
No, it's tailor-made for a sixth grader.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad that I watched it, and I was happy that I did.
Same.
But I don't need to necessarily watch another episode. I'm glad I watched the one with Mr. T in it.
But our sixth graders should watch it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
And then they'll start whining about when are we getting a train in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
And telling their friends if they're going to be girls, they got to walk like they're swatting flies with their butts.
Yeah, I don't. Well, yeah, I know. Don't need my kid hearing lines like she's a bow wow from the neck up.
Yeah. So maybe it's not
40
tailor-made
40
for
years
sixth graders. Speaking of silver spoons, listener Angie via Facebook said that she listened to the episode. She said, first of all, on that episode, we talked about if you could make any TV show a ride.
Yes.
And she said, first of all, sign me up for the Golden Girls ride. She wrote, I thought the dad was kind of hot. I remember Jason Bateman. He was kind of a jerk for a friend. Then she wrote she loves his podcast, Smartless. And she also remembers the train and the phone and Alfonso. So
yeah,
there we go. Just a couple other catch-up things here. We had a listener say that if she could open it, we said if you could open any bar. She said she would open up the bar that was Happy Days. One would be the Cunningham Home, and the other would be the Diner. So
sure.
Cool. And listener Brad via email said Alien Nation was by far our worst song and possibly our worst episode.
Wow.
And I think he was getting at the song was just so horrible.
It's bad.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah.
And I think that's the mailbag for the week.
Don't think anybody's going to go back and visit the Alien Nation episode.
I think our episode of Alien Nation is great because the show is the song was so bad and the visual was so bad.
It was weird.
Yeah, really weird. Well, that's a heck of a mailbag.
Yeah.
And catch up and all that other stuff. We did it. There's only one thing left. I think I see a little robot tootling his way over. Conky!
Ready to assist you. Pee-wee.
Morning, Conky. What's today's secret word?
Today's secret word is moonlighting.
The hell?
Huh. We were just saying shitty episodes, and then you get moonlighting. Boy.
Well, We like to start out with memories of the show. Let's start with Pete. Any memories of Moonlighting?
I think it was popular in my house.
Okay.
I remember Bruce Willis and Cybil Shepherd. I remember thinking it was funny, but also it was kind of like weird. I think conceptually, like for some reason I remember like there was sequences that were not quite like on a horse. I don't know why I remember like an episode with a horse, which didn't really tie in with what the premise of the show was. But that's really about all I got.
Okay.
I think they were fighting crime or something.
Ryan?
I think it was watched in my house as well, but I didn't watch it. Like my parents watched it.
That was your cue to leave the room and go play Matchbox somewhere else.
Yeah, it just had the vibe of like a grown-up show.
Sure.
Sure. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you plot lines or any episodes. My recollection is that were they private eyes or something? I don't know. Like that's what I would guess that, but I could totally be wrong.
I don't think it was watched in our house.
Yeah.
I got nothing. When you first said it, I thought you meant Moonstruck, and I pictured Cher, which I also haven't seen. But Moonlighting,
Nick Cage is in Moonstruck, isn't he?
Maybe. Listeners.
Andy Garcia as well?
Maybe that's who he's thinking of.
No, it might be both.
Oh.
It might be both, actually.
Nick
I think
Cage.
it is because Andy Garcia is one of the love interests, isn't he? Like,
I mean, don't ask me
somebody help us on that.
Plot of that one.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's have our Moonstruck episode.
Moonlighting.
So yeah, I don't remember the show. I remember I was a Mad Magazine fan, got it monthly, and I remember that being on the cover.
Oh, okay.
I knew that the show existed. I remember Willis, didn't he play guitar on a Seagram's commercial?
Around that time, Golden Wine Coolers, yeah.
Golden Wine Coolers.
And he released an album around this time. Bruce Willis.
Very possible.
It was like Public Animal Dog or something like that.
What?
I'll look it up when...
I've seen some bad clips of him, like
playing the harmonica or something.
Trench coat, like playing a harmonica.
Yeah.
You know, I think everybody got a little taste of the Miami Vice, and all they wanted to do was be like Glenn Fry, the heat is on.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Well, you belong to the city, you belong to the night. What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
So, the great catch-up on Moonlighting. We got Pete's in the number 1 slot, and he thinks it might be a detective show.
Yeah.
And I've got Moonstruck.
Yeah.
Starting out well here.
Well, the good news is it's going to get better because Conky just zapped Pete in the nipples today.
Ouch.
And the information transferred through Pete's bloodstream into his brain. And he's going to tell us all about Moonlighting.
Yes. It's an American comedy drama series that aired on ABC from March of 85 to May of 89.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So 5 seasons, 67 episodes. It was unique in that it blended drama, comedy, mystery, and romance, and often incorporated fantasy sequences and breaking the fourth wall.
Good call.
Interesting.
So all these kind of things that were a little unique.
I'm interested.
The show centers around unlikely partnership between Maddie Hayes, who is a former model, and David Addison, a witty and charismatic detective.
So it's like Hardcastle and McCormick.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So she finds out her accountant embezzled a ton of her money, leaving her bankrupt, and her only remaining asset. So apparently she had a very diverse portfolio, we'll say.
Sure.
But she lost everything except for a small detective agency, which I don't know how she got that in.
How did that get in her portfolio?
Yeah,
Diversify.
You don't have a small detective agency somewhere in your 401k.
Yeah. She puts them to work.
Basically, David convinces her to keep the agency open and become his partner.
So she becomes a detective?
Well, private eye. I think detective is the title for people that are actually working for the police. Private eye is...
Sure.
Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Like Eddie Valiant in Roger Rabbit.
Eddie Valiant.
Yes.
Please.
So, couple other main characters, though. Curtis Armstrong.
Booger.
Hey,
all right.
Yeah.
Nice work.
High on stress. Is that what his shirt says in the first Revenge of the Nerds? And the second one is the Who Farted shirt.
Or also known as Charles Dumas.
From
Better Off Dead.
Yeah, when he thinks the snow hill's cocaine.
Yes. So he plays an employee, a temp, but he's brought on the show based on his work in Revenge of the Nerds and Better Off Dead.
Those are two fantastic performances.
And then the
He's
other
a
was
genius.
Alice Beasley. She plays their receptionist. She played Coach's daughter on Cheers. And then she becomes the love interest of Curtis Armstrong, and so there's a love plot line there, along with a lot of romantic tension between Cybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis. And this was all before, like, Die Hard, I think, was what really kicked off his career. So before that, and I think
this is like his intro to the
but I think once Die Hard hit, he was
gotta go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Die Hard's fantastic.
Yeah. So that's just a little bit about the show. So the song is also titled Moonlighting, and it's performed by Al Jarreau.
From Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
From Milwaukee.
Really?
Hey.
Wow. And it was he wrote the song with Lee Holdridge. I don't have any information on Lee, but they recorded two versions of the song. One was used for seasons 1 through 3. The second was 4 and 5. The second one is, I guess, more familiar, according to Conkey, because it was released as a single.
They waited a few years before
in '87,
Yeah.
and it reached number 23 on the Billboard Hot 100
Holy
and spent
shit, what?
1 week on the adult contemporary chart.
That's a respectable
Wowza.
number to be on the
Yeah.
Hot 100.
And Al Jarreau went to Ripon College.
Hey,
No
so
kidding.
did Harrison Ford.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe they were classmates.
You never know.
You know, Wisconsin listeners, even our international listeners.
Yes.
This is a big deal.
It
We
is.
don't, you know,
And that is a small college, too.
Yes, it is.
and as a small Midwestern state, we don't have a ton of
Celebrity.
big names here. It's not like
Yeah.
we're in California.
Correct.
And so the little college of Ripon has Al Jarreau and Harrison Ford?
Yeah.
That is weird.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger went to UW Superior. I think correspondence
two
classes.
truths and a lie?
No, 3 truths. When we get to our Schwarzenegger episode, we'll look it up.
I look forward to that episode.
Listeners, can you confirm that Schwarzenegger went to UW Superior? Might have been correspondence classes, but we might have to Google this episode.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
All right.
Okay.
That's all that matters.
You know, that is all that matters
Mhm.
right now.
And Ryan doesn't do retractions, so we'll never know.
So
He
it's
did!
truth. It's truth.
He retracted today. It was amazing. We should have done an
That's-
extra special retraction song for that.
think that's-
Ryan's retraction time.
All right. That's all I got on Moonlighting.
I like it.
It's fantastic.
All right. Well, that's some awesome background, Engineer Pete and Conkey. Let's dive into this Jarreau. Now, I apologize, Pete. It was Jarreau and another guy. So Jarreau was a co-writer.
Yes, and the singer. Oh,
Right.
Conky. Cool out.
Cool out.
Oh, it sounds
Well,
like
your
some
host can-
smooth,
Yeah.
some smooth, easy listening. I do not know if I'm going to be familiar with this song.
I have zero expectation.
I have no
Yeah.
recollection of the song.
And I feel like that's a little rare for a trifecta of us.
Yep.
To not. I feel like if we look at our past 44 episodes, one of us has at least a little knowledge of what's about to come.
Right.
Mhm.
We're going in blind.
Totally.
Mhm.
I'm excited. Titillating.
That's what she said. Let's hit it. That's
There we go. All right. There's a lot to unpack right at the beginning there.
very smooth jazzy.
Very smooth jazz. This could be Michael McDonald. This
Yeah.
could be Steely Dan.
This could be me walking through the department store in 1985 and hearing that.
Absolutely. You're going to Kohl's.
Yeah, exactly.
You might be going to J.C. Penney or Sears.
Exactly. Taking the elevator up to the second floor of J.C. Penney, and you're hearing this, and this feels comfortable.
I think that's where I got my bolo tie for the 7th grade dance.
You had a fucking bolo tie?
Have I told that story?
What?
Oh, man.
Jeez Louise.
I got a picture. Yeah, well, I had to get some clothes for the dance.
It was Southwest themed, right?
No, and that's my problem. I should have gotten a regular tie. But I'm like, well, this is kind of cool. Maybe it was Maurice's I got it at. Either way, I went
There's
to the...
no way Maurice's was selling bolo ties in 1987.
I went to the mall to get a tie, and I left with a bolo tie. And
What did people say about that?
I think my date thought it was hot.
You were definitely different. I'm sure you stuck out.
Well, I've figured it out since then.
Where is that bolo tie today?
That's a great question.
It's got to be around.
I'll ask my parents just like I asked them about the Mr. T stuff.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'm hearing, we say this a lot, I feel like, but I do hear a very clean sounding Fender Stratocaster.
Correct.
With a lot of reverb on it. Could we actually, not to be annoying, and I don't know that this is necessary, but can we start it over?
Yeah. Sorry, I had the volume was a little low, so I think I've got that.
I mean,
This could be like a 1980s Grateful Dead song.
it's so smooth.
It is very. Is there chimes? Bing.
I didn't hear any chimes, but it doesn't mean they're not there.
Let's find out.
Some walk by night.
That is
Wow.
golden.
Did he say some walk by my?
I'm going to say some walk by night would be my
That
guess.
makes more
but,
sense. Some walk by my.
But I could be wrong on that. We're not experts.
No, we are definitely not experts. I'm going to take a drink of beer. It's easy listening. It's Steely Dan. It's yacht rocky. It's something.
I'm hearing some nice
yacht rock
cowbell in the background too.
I do hear cowbell. There's just, I'm such a sucker for these, like,
I know you are.
it's like an addiction. I'm such a sucker for these smooth, really silky smooth.
Yeah.
And this is really silky.
Very.
This is satin solitude.
This is satin.
That's
Very
perfect.
Wow, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
My goodness. Holy smokes.
Some high with envy. Some walk by my. Some high with envy.
Yeah, I think
Is this
nailed it.
karaoke? What the hell are we doing here?
What does he got?
Some walk by night, some fly by day.
He did not say some fly by day. He said some high with envy.
John, you don't like over pronunciation. So.
Jarreau, our Milwaukee boy, is delivering. I've got zero beef with his weird delivery. All right. I mean, this is this is as easy listening as it gets.
Something is sweeter, 'cause we met on the way.
This feels like you're watching an 80s movie and they're sitting down at a restaurant and there's a really shitty easy listening band playing, maybe a little like in the corner. That's kind of what I'm feeling.
I wouldn't call him shitty though.
Yeah, that's fair. What was the latest line?
So I'm just going to tell you, I don't think the lyrics that I'm seeing are consistent with what's being sung right now.
So there was a full release though, so you might have the full song
Instead of the
minute 15.
It's possible. Yeah.
Do we have any idea what Al just said?
I don't know.
Can we back it up to 5
Yeah.
seconds? All right. I'm going to try to figure it out. I'm pretty good at this.
Something is sweeter,
Something is sweeter.
Yeah.
'cause we met on the way.
Cosmonaut on the way.
Okay.
Cause
So here, okay. So I think I caught the lyrics. So I think we're getting into, this is like the fourth, whatever. Some walk by night, some fly by day, some think it's sweeter when you meet along the way.
oh, okay.
I don't think he said that.
Because we met.
On the way.
What the hell? Excuse me.
Is that the whole thing?
That's
the
What
whole
the
shit?
hell is happening?
40 seconds.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's weird.
What the hell?
Unless Conky picked a bad video, I don't know, but that.
Did it look like a legit beginning of the show?
Yeah.
Well,
Man,
huh.
I'm shocked. I don't know what to say. That's all. It's almost like just a tease.
It is a little bit, yeah.
Well, that was unique. General thoughts on that song? I don't, obviously we're going to vote later, but this is one of the weirdest songs we've had.
Yeah.
And we've had, think about Drive. We've had some weird songs.
I mean, it's very smooth. It's a little bit funky. He's got a really good voice.
Yeah.
It's also really weird. So I'm
Yeah.
conflicted.
It's super strange. It feels like it never gets to where it's aiming to go.
That's what I'm saying.
like-
There's no refrain. There's
Right.
no refrain.
Usually, like when we started this, we're like, theme songs are always catchy.
Correct.
Whoever Jarreau's like, I'm going to give you funk, I'm going to give you groove, but I'm not going to give you a hook.
Correct.
So I wonder if the full release version, like, if they just, cut out the wrong parts to make the 40-second TV
And I'm
version.
wondering if that's almost like the syndicated version where they just give you like the short snap of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Possible. Well, we should here. I've got the theme right here from Apple Music. I just want to hear.
It's beautiful.
I'm going to dive in a little more. Hold on.
Nothing could change.
Yeah.
Except that sure of the way.
Sounds the same. It might be a different version, but
Yeah, it's interesting.
that is something.
I'll say that much.
It is something.
Well, let's take a look. Sorry, I just had a little laptop thing here. There we go. All right. Well, there's nothing left to do but see what's happening here.
Oh yeah.
All right.
We always talk about the way the font comes in. Ryan,
Yeah.
how would you explain this? I like it.
Yeah. So it's a cityscape, right?
Yeah.
Cityscape at dusk and
Yes.
moonlighting, just kind of.
The letters are crossed over almost?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah. It just kind of envelops.
Also, there's a red background, that'd be a strange night.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's a weird
Yeah.
night. I like the font. It kind of reminds me of the HBO font from the
Well
80s.
put.
Oh,
What?
yeah.
It's got
God,
the-
remember that when the HBO would come
Oh.
flying through?
Oh,
and-
man. And then you knew something
You
great
knew
was about to
something great
happen.
was happening.
Yeah.
And this, I don't know if we've mentioned this, in stereo where available. I remember that was
Oh
a thing.
gosh, yes.
And we had a cheap JCPenney TV, so I didn't know what that meant
Right.
by in stereo.
It was definitely not available.
Probably something Ricky Schroeder had, but
Yeah.
nobody
Correct.
else I knew.
in cursive, of course. So, yeah, we've got the moon up in the upper left. It's a crescent moon. And do we know, I'm sorry, Pete, did you mention what city they're in?
I did not. I actually don't know.
All right, let's see if we can figure that out as we scroll through this. All right. There she is.
Yeah, Civil.
Cybil Shepherd. Now, did she start in the 70s?
I think so. Yeah, she's been around for a while at this point.
She was at the beautician that day. That's a serious hairdo.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm also curious. We might have to look up what else she was in. But there's Cybil. So she's getting prime. She's coming before Bruce.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're seeing some of the surrealness of this show,
Correct.
right away in this
Yeah.
opening credits. Did I see a soldier in a like 1800s garb?
Something weird. Something weird.
All right.
Oh, I think that was a doorman at a weird fancy
Ah.
place. But
Okay.
Some walk by not.
There.
Yeah.
Bruce
So we got
Willis
Bruce Willis.
/ Glenn Fry
Yeah.
/ Don Johnson.
And again, I don't remember because I don't think I really ever watched this show. But my my recollection or impression of his character was kind of a guy that got boozed up a little bit. Always wore his like tie really loose if he wore one.
Have you ever seen a private investigator on a TV show or movie that did not fit that stereotype?
Well, but that's also sort of the like caricature of Bruce Willis in general, right? Like,
Yep. Die Hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just his typecast.
Yeah, he's got the shirt down at least 3 buttons.
Totally.
Yeah.
That doesn't even look like Bruce Willis right there, but it is Bruce Willis.
It is.
Well, it is kind of weird to see him with hair on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. We're so used to a different look from him.
Yeah.
All right.
Or it is just longer. I think by Die Hard he had it cut really short and kept it
Kept it tight.
Kept it tight.
Kept it tight.
Oh. So, if I may, check this out, listeners. It's what they're showing in between stills of the actors is really weird shit.
But it's the other thing is it's all stills. All they're doing is taking stills and they're panning in and out of them, and then they're putting like one or two in a row of the character, and then they're putting in like a mannequin or like some
Chinese restaurant.
Correct. Yeah.
It's L.A.
I was
Okay.
just gonna say it feels like L.A.
We saw a very buxom woman in the previous
Yeah.
one. This is fascinating.
But it's weird that you're right. It's just shots of photographs.
Strange.
Something is sweeter.
But let me just say, does this not just feel as 80s as 80s can feel? Like it's like if you wanted to portray the 1980s in the evening, you're going to play music like this, and you're going to like it just spills it.
It's seedy.
Oh, it's really something.
Yeah.
'Cause we met.
So there's Alice Beasley, when I was saying Coach's daughter from
Okay.
Cheers.
Yeah.
And she was in some other stuff too. I just can't.
Yeah.
And she's got a great 80s phone.
Well,
So
it's
speaking of,
so
my
regular.
dad went to a new barber today. He
Oh,
got his
boy.
hair cut, and the guy who cut his hair is 83 years old.
Okay.
And he said hanging up on the wall, he had one of these 80s rotary phones that he answered mid-haircut. And he said it was
Wow.
pink.
Outstanding.
A pink 80s phone from an 83. His new barber's 83.
Outstanding.
He cuts hair 2 days a week, 3 hours each day.
Is that like one haircut per day?
Yeah.
He said it's great. Looks sharp.
On the way. 'Cause we met on the way.
Is that Bruce Willis on the TV in the 1940s?
Think I mean, yeah. There was some fantasy or like,
Are we going to get Booger?
I don't think he was a character from the start.
Oh, so here's the surrealness of it. A woman
Yeah.
is watching Moonlighting at
Yeah.
the end and walks away. All right.
Mom, what are you...
Yeah, I don't know.
Very
if that's
weird.
I'm just curious if there's a different season version. I just want to see like 10 seconds. Do you think Conky can just... Do we know what season this was, by the way?
I think it said 3.
Yeah.
I'm just curious if there's another one in Conky's tummy.
Oh, that's
The
not it.
demons.
Yeah.
Sorry, listeners.
Yeah, this is...
I might edit those down in a little bit. And if not, it's no big deal. But I'd be curious to see and hear an opening sequence from a different season.
Hi, I'm Madeline Hayes,
Let's
and
check
this
this
is
one out.
David Addison.
Can we full screen that?
Yeah, one moment. Let me just see if I can get to...
I didn't get any sound though.
We had a cold open on this.
Oh, there it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on.
All right, we're just going to check a few things.
Walk by night.
A little bounce here.
Yeah, it's just different.
And I think the bouncier one was the first. I could be wrong. Similar though, like
Yep.
different
stills.
sequence, but same.
They made the opening lettering even more HBO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bolder and
Yeah.
like bigger.
Maybe
Yeah.
5 more seconds. Just
Set and sure of the way. There is the sun and moon.
all right.
They sing their role
That's
and when dawn.
Is this more lyrics than
Yeah.
yeah.
we had on the other version? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, interesting.
Different versions, but all right.
Same feel.
Same feel.
Totally.
Something about it.
Sort of sounds like the Cowardly Lion singing a little bit.
Moonlighting.
Yeah.
Well, holy shit. I am very interested to watch an episode of this. I'll tell you that much.
You seem to me like a Moonlighting guy. I'm just going to come across and say that right now.
We'll find out.
I think there is something intriguing about it.
Yeah.
Just I think the weirdness of it, I'm kind of
Yeah.
like very curious. And obviously, like it did have, some
5 seasons, right?
good actors and actresses. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Booger's
mean,
in
like
it.
that's a legit
Booger's
show.
in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Charles Dumar.
Charles Dumar.
Wow.
Well, there we have it. Hey, you know what time it is? It's time to vote on Moonlighting. We're going to see if it makes our wall of fame or our wall of shame. All it takes is 2 votes either way. And let's start today with Ryan.
Jeez.
You weren't ready to vote.
I'm very conflicted. I'm going to go ahead and give it a thumbs up.
I'll be back.
I'm a sucker for the smooth 80s yacht rock thing. It's weird. It's really weird, but I like it enough that I'm giving it a thumbs up.
Well, let me create a little drama. I am not a sucker for this type of music. I'm giving it a big old thumbs down.
You're in big trouble, mister.
I like Al Jarreau. I think he's great. I like that he's from our lovely state of Wisconsin. He's got a cool voice, but that song was a pile of shit.
I mean, I would say a pile of shit's harsh.
I know. I was just creating a little drama. It's not. A pile of shit.
It is. I'm roughly on the fence, but I'm just enough tilted
I'll be back.
to Arnold.
Yeah, totally fair. It's not terrible, but it's not good enough for me to give it a thumbs up.
And if we were doing our second vote on is it a Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
The answer is no.
Yeah. It's a weird, it's a very middling song where it's not offensive.
I just don't want to hear it again.
Yeah.
I kind of do. I want to hear the 3-minute version, the full, like, whatever was released that reached 23 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Boy, that's hard to imagine, but
Slim pickings, apparently.
Not much happening that year.
87 was a tough year.
Well, hey, if you disagree, you're wrong, including me, because that song is now on our Wall of Fame. But it does not get a chance to get voted onto our Super Mega list because it needs 3 votes to go there.
Indeed.
So, all right. Before we wrap things up, any questions? We've had some requests for our end of show hypotheticals. Does anybody have a question?
Yeah, let's hear what our fan wants to.
You guys don't have any?
No.
Plum out.
I'm just looking here.
I was going to say, can you name one other thing Cybil Shepherd has been in?
Ooh, I like. There we go.
Yeah. I should be able to.
Oh, this could be a bad question if you both just say no.
Hold on. Is she the lady in Murphy Brown?
No.
Okay.
You know who
I'm a no.
You know who I get her mixed up with? You can't even remember the lady's name, but you remember the movie Romancing the Stone?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I get her mixed up with that lady. That's
what is-
not her. Catherine something.
Turner?
Yeah, it might be Kathleen Turner, maybe.
Oh, shit.
It's not her, though.
Well, yes, I'm aware it's not her.
Oh, Cybil Shepherd is in she's in she in Raging Bull?
Now, let me do a little look here for you. Taxi Driver.
Taxi Driver. I knew she was in one of those.
Nice work.
Yeah.
You had a Scorsese call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, I got nothing but this. She had a show called Sybil.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 years in the 90s. Interesting.
Here's my question. Can you tell me the name of Bruce Willis's debut studio album?
Oh,
Oh, man.
2
Bartles
shots
and
and a
James?
brewski.
When I show you the album cover, you'll recognize it. It was The Return of Bruno.
Oh.
Return?
Yeah.
Wait,
Where did he
but
come
he had to
from?
be there first
Yeah.
to return,
No.
which I think
And
that's...
why is he, the classic smart aleck Bruce Willis, look on the album? Come on.
He covered Under the Boardwalk.
Ouch.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's mostly covers.
He can't shout songs quite as well as Don Johnson. So Springsteen he ain't.
That's a review.
Yeah, so it looks like he was doing basically a Blues Brothers type thing.
Sure.
Doing, Secret Agent Man and stuff
That
like
makes
that.
sense.
Yeah. So there we have it, folks. I'm just trying to see if we recognize any of the people who played with him in the band.
Have you ever had a Seagram's
Golden
wine cooler? Yeah.
wine cooler. I don't believe so.
I don't believe so either.
I don't think that I have either.
Because I would have been like 12 when
Yeah.
those came out. So
It had been about a year before you were ready.
when Bruce was singing that song,
Are they still making those?
so that's another good
I
question.
don't know. We might have to have one next episode.
Well, at least for Bruce.
Man, I'd have myself a Seagram's Golden Wine Cooler.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, team, that was Moonlighting.
Doozy.
What a weird one. That was fun to try out. And again, good to hear old Al Jarreau, even on a weird-ass song like that.
Yeah.
All right, team. Well, it has been a pleasure. Until next week, I'm John.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Peter.
And you have been listening to the Super 80s Podcast Friend, where the towels are hers and Bruno's.
Return of the Bruno.